And action. Hey guys, my name is Jesse Lopez.
And I'm Ariel Peck.
We're super excited to be here at BTOO this weekend. It was so much fun and such a great way to be able to spend our time with you. One of our favorite classes that we had the opportunity to teach was the Floorials workshop. This is Ariel and we were doing Floorials, which was a ton of fun. The priority idea inside of this workshop were that there are 3 lines of communication, much like the subway lines that happen out in major cities, and these 3 lines were color-coded. There was the yellow line, the orange line, and the red line, and each one blended into the next. They have similarities, but you can't go from yellow over to red. So, from a concept standpoint, yellow was the idea that we could lean on one another. So from a yellow line, we lean the body. Now this body pressure is a squeeze by the leader towards each other so that we have glue in between each other. And then we're just leaning that. Whether she's facing me, facing away from me, we're moving with each other's bodies. Even if she decides to lean me, we're held towards each other and then we move away. We're held towards each other and then we lean that down. That means we're speaking to each other through a feeling of compression because we're staying close together. After we feel confident, comfortable with the yellow line, then we asked our partner's permission and we moved into the orange line. Orange was dip, yeah? Green dip. The orange was dip. Dips, in general, mean that we're taking our partner's weight slightly up and then leaning it away from ourselves instead of toward ourselves. And that turned it from a lean into a dip. Still a lean effect. If I was here, she'd be leaning on me. But in order to turn that into a dip, I'm going to be here. And now she's leaning away from me. And that makes it more of a dip-based action. Now these high dips are generally follower supported. We'll switch legs so she doesn't get tired. So as we lean out, she's holding most of her own core. I can step away or come back in. She doesn't really need me. In something like a low dip, she is using her body, but she's holding as close as she can so that we feel like we're staying connected to each other in that movement.
And as a follow, it's super important to keep your hips up and not use your lower back to hold yourself up, but squeeze your glutes down and under to lift the hip all the way up as much as possible. You'll be lighter and safer on your back as well.
That also helps us clarify the difference between what happens in our red line. Good call. Because in the red line, the follower's hips on purpose travel down over their own feet. Yeah? That downward action means that whoever's going through the drop is now self-supported and they're able to stand back up on their own. That's kind of what we see go wrong in the Jack and Jills when the leaders throw the follower down or pull the follower back up before they're ready. You are opening the space and the followers are creating this opportunity, and then we're moving into the next piece. Followers taking on that opportunity to be able to go through it. Make sure to socially check. You guys promised. Make sure to socially check with any partner that you're going to do this with, unless you have like a lot of experience working with that specific partner, but make sure they're in a place where they're willing to do this with you. I verbally ask while we're dancing, like, hey, can I dip you? And then,
yeah, definitely.
And then I'll go for the dip, as opposed to like, hey, can I dip you? It's too late for her to say anything about it. So be respectful with your partnerships. And for all 3 of these lines, check before you do.
That's it.
Good job.